Good morning, Oklahoma, and welcome to Cow-Calf Corner. I'm Mark Johnson, and this week we're going to follow up last week's question about retained ownership and actually consider through the eyes of a buyer of our calves what would give those calves value. There's some things we can do both short-term and long-term to try to add value to a set of calves that we're going to be selling at some point this fall. So, in no particular order, if I were buying a set of weaned calves, what would have value to me? Well, first thing is probably just uniformity, and uniformity in volume is what increases the value of a set of weaned calves. What do we mean by uniformity? If we could sell steers or heifers, if we knew that those heifers were open, if we knew that they were all the same color, looked like they're out of the same sire group and the same set of cows, all those are basic fundamentals of uniformity that create value in the marketplace. But uniformity in age and uniformity in the weight of those calves also plays a role. Typically, calves that have less than 100 pounds of variation, no more than 60 to 90 days age variation in them, are going to create uniformity. Now, we may ponder whether we pool calves with a neighbor to create some of these larger lots of cattle. As we discussed last week, anytime we could put together a uniform semi-load lot, somewhere around 50,000 pounds of calves to sell, it's going to aid in economizing the cost of transportation wherever those calves are going to next. So uniformity has value. Management. Now, what do we mean by management? Basically, if we have backgrounded calves, if we've got 2 rounds of vaccinations in them at the point that they're weaned, even if we just wean those calves for 45 days and have got those vaccinations in them, whoever's going to own those calves next is going to want health, a good immune system, and know that there's going to be less treatment necessary in that set of calves when they get ready to turn them out on wheat pasture or whatever they plan to do with them. Those are things we can add from a management standpoint, as well as just making sure if we've got some horns on calves that we dehorn them. The standard in industry as we sell cattle, they're going to be dehorned. Those bull calves are going to be turned into steer calves. They're all going to be castrated and healed. Additional things we may do to even go a click beyond that is, are those calves bunk broke? Do they know to come to feed whenever it's presented to them? That's another thing that if I were buying weaned calves, there's benefit to that. What kind of information can we provide on a set of calves about their genetic potential? This revisits a topic from last week. Do we know the historical post-weaning growth performance, cost of gains, carcass quality, carcass cutability, carcass weights on what those calves are when they actually finish out? If we can provide some history and some past data on a set of calves, it obviously gives those calves additional marketing leverage to whoever's going to own them next. And so just a number of things to think through. If we're willing to provide some of that information or willing to manage for some of that information, the opportunity provided in Oklahoma Quality Beef Network sales and the website showing on screen is where you can go to get more information on an OQBN sale, where we know that backgrounded vaccinated calves are actually, as well documented, are going to sell at a premium. So there's some marketing outlets there, but in the end, bottom line, we can either sell our calves and be a price taker, or we can provide some additional management, maybe some information about genetics and uniformity in that calf crop to market them at an additional profit point beyond that commodity price. Thanks for joining us this week.